Yep, I'm back once again. No introduction required. And before I begin, shout out to Charles in Charge. I'll leave the link to the full video in the comment section of this video. Go check them out before or after, it doesn't matter. But y'all see the title of the video, right? Kendra G goes off on her female supporters in regards to a man's looks. And rightfully so. But yeah, we about to go deep in it because this issue has to be addressed. Because it's funny how these women out here always want to judge a man's looks, but they keep on forgetting that they themselves, these same females, have an advantage in the looks department that the men don't have. I'm also going to call out the blatant hypocrisy when it comes to looks and body imagery, because keep this in mind as well. You got all these groups talking about body positivity, fat acceptance, but keep in mind this only applies to women. For the men, you're just fat, you're just ugly, just all this time in the third. But when the moment they get called out on their own self-image, their own negative body assortments, now all of a sudden you want to cry about your body shaming. So basically, in a nutshell, it's okay for these females to shame men's looks, their weight, and their body image, but it's wrong when it happens to them. Hypocrisy at its finest, as I say. But I digress. Enough of me babbling. Let's get on with the video, shall we?
Okay, got you. All right, so Godfrey, does the woman gotta look a certain way?
Well, she gotta look good. I like beautiful, man. We are all beautiful. And she has to look good. I ain't gonna classify myself to be a handsome looking guy. And I don't want my kids looking too ugly like me. So we have to compliment each other. You understand what I mean? So
I wouldn't say you're ugly, Godfrey.
I know. I'm not in the class of the handsome dudes. Maybe if I had some makeup, get some gloves done, wigs, maybe.
Try
it. Hey, don't feel so down, Godfrey. After all, I can honestly say that Uncle JD Mouse, is one ugly motherfucker myself, with no shame in my game. But he has a point. But Godfrey has a point, though. You see, as I stated before, it's not like men have makeup and all these accessories to make ourselves look good like the women do. We got to use what the good Lord gave us. We got to use what we were born with, i.e. genetics. And guess what? What much more can we use? The ladies, on the other hand, they have everything. They have everything at their disposal: makeup, extensions, wigs, weaves, fake nails, all that to make themselves look good. And get out your fucking feelings, because I'm just making a statement. But hey, let's continue.
Try it. You tried it.
So you see kind of right there, as we're kind of picking up in the video, the gentleman who they have on, he's pretty much telling what it is. He's letting like, hey, listen, I know I'm not a great looking guy, but like everyone, like any guy, he wants to be with a woman who he finds attractive. But he's willing to admit that, hey, I know I'm not a good looking guy, but I want to be with a good looking woman for the sake of that way at least our kids don't come out looking like me. The probability, I guess, in his eyes. But here's the interesting thing. This is something that many men are very clear on. A reality that a lot of men have to face is the reality of facing their situation. Like, men don't really get the option to sit here and like live in a false reality, or sit here and not be able to like face the truth that the world presents to them, because the world is brutal and it'll let you know right away. So him being able to pretty much lay out and let you know, like, hey, listen, I know I'm not a good looking guy. I can't put on makeup. And when he said that part about the whole I can't put on makeup, that was because at this point in the clip, he was already starting to get a lot of, negative, comments from the female audience, pretty much telling Kendra to, get him off. We don't want him, so that was a little bit of, he can see the comments. And so that was a little bit of a shot at them saying like, hey, I can't put on makeup. I can't, put a wig on and all this kind of stuff, as men.
And rightfully so. Because it's amazing how you'll have these females sitting there talking about how ugly he is, how they don't want him, all that type of stuff. But let the roles be turned, and it's one of those ugly, average at best females that be calling on Kendra G's show. And yes, I met a whole lot of them. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson, by the way. I met a whole lot of females that be on Kendra G's show that are average at best, and let these men sit there and do the same shit that these women is doing to Godfrey. These women will be in their feelings and emotions. Basically, they could dish it out. They could dish it out when it's a man, but they can't take it when the man tells them about themselves. Basic textbook mentality. But these would be the same women who claim to be all about body positivity and fat acceptance. But when it's a man, those same rules don't apply. And this is the reason, and I'll go ahead and say this as well. This is the reason why hardly anybody respects their cause. Nobody respects these fat acceptance bullshit. This is the reason why nobody respects the body positivity bullshit. And some of those members of those groups are straight up hypocrites. It's only fat acceptance and body positivity when it benefits the women. Let's just make $1.50 out of this. But I digress. Let's continue.
We got to kind of like go as we are. And I respect Kendra G in this case, definitely, for really, checking her audience, her female audience members on the
straight up. And that's exactly what she's going to do. And that's exactly what she's going to do here, because the one-sided bullshit needs to be called out. And keep this in mind. Equality, as Uncle JD been saying for quite a while, equality is not a one-way street. But a portion of these females think that it is when it's not. But let's continue.
Their behavior in this case.
You know what? I was reading some of the comments. I think most of them were from women. And some of you women really get on my last damn nerve. But let me tell you why. Because see, some of the women saying, wrap him up. We don't want him. Listen, I will honor that if the men can do that when a woman comes on this screen that they don't want to talk to. It's so interesting to me. First of all, shouts to Godfrey, who was at least honest about his appearance. I would not call him ugly, but I know what you women wanted. He probably wasn't the desired attractiveness that most of you women desire. That's why y'all want me to hang up on him. But why is it when a woman who's not attractive, because all you hoes ain't pretty, all you hoes ain't cute.
Burn. And rightfully so. And as I say before, I seen a good portion of these females who calls in on Kendra G's show, and they're nowhere near the level of Beyonce, nowhere near the level of Fantasia, nowhere near the level of a Cardi B. Off the gate. Let's continue.
So when the men in the comments saying the shit that y'all be saying about the guys that y'all don't like about the females, y'all be in y'all feelings. So why do y'all have the right to choose men based on attractiveness, and the men don't have the right to say, I don't want her because I don't find her attractive? Y'all be in the comments trying to big up your sisters, which I do love and support, but y'all already know the guy might not be feeling her. So here's gonna be the rule. I have no problem because the guys are here for the ladies and the ladies are here for the guys. So if there's a guy on this platform that if I get so many women saying hang up, we don't want to hear from him, guess what? I might honor that, but guess what? Men gonna have the same ability to tell me to hang up on a girl because he don't want them. Because remember, y'all here for the men. And guess what? If that goes that way, I'll probably talk to some of you girls for 30 seconds. Because some of y'all don't pass they test.
And they can't whine, cry, bitch, and moan about it either. Get out, and yes, I will say get out to these females doing that shit, get out your feelings. As that saying goes, what's good for the goose is also good for the gander. And if that's the way they want it to be, guess what? The men shall also have that same right as well. If these women want Kendra G to hang up on these men that be's on her show, guess what? The men could also ask Kendra G to hang up on these average at best looking females on this show too. And I know they're gonna cry like little bitches about it. But then again, as that old saying goes, if you can dish it, you can take it. If you can't dish it out, then don't. If you can't take it, then don't dish it out. So yes, I do agree with Kendra G's decision on this one. Ladies, if you want Kendra G to hang up on these men calling her show because you don't like how they look like, or their image, fine. But guess what? It's all about equality, babe. Yeah. It's all about equality, baby. If the men don't like the females that's on the show too, then guess what? They could ask Kendra G to hang up on them as well. You see, the problem is these females think that they're God's gift to the whole world. No fault, no flaws, no nothing, until they get that grim reality check. And notice that it's okay when they do it to men, but when the men do it to them, oh, it's a problem. Oh, they're in their feelings, they're in their emotions, they're in their insecurities. Why, Kendra G? Why you let these men force you to hang up on that average and best looking female? Because it's no different than what y'all females do when the men is on the show. Out the gate. Oh, it's only wrong it's okay when you do it to when the ladies do it to the men. But it's so wrong when the men do it to the ladies. No, ma'am, that is called equality. The same equality y'all were begging and pleading for. Out the gate. Let's continue.
And that's why it really irritates me that y'all have no problem being in the comments, expressing yourself about the men when y'all don't like something. And then have the absolute nerve to be upset when men act like y'all. I say it all the time. The women are more mean on my show than the men. Men pretty much know they can't say things inappropriate because y'all gonna get upset. But y'all be so comfortable with being disrespectful. So I'm gonna make sure these men be out here being disrespectful just back. It's very tacky and it's very rude. And I think y'all don't know how they think about y'all because they're being polite by not saying shit. Their silence is their kindness. And we're gonna keep it all the way 100.
Facts. Absolute facts. But then you got men like me who just don't give a fuck. Straight up. If that's the way how these females is gonna act, then they should not feel any certain kind of way when the same men act the same way they do. Out the gate. No doubt about that at all. But let's continue.
And like he said, what the hell Godfrey said, he don't got the ability. You got to take the man for what he is. That's what he is. The society wouldn't accept him if he got surgery or did something to his face. Women, we have all the benefits in the world of enhancing our pretty. It's actually our...
As I said earlier, the women have the advantage of enhancing their pretty. From the makeup to the eyelashes, to the weave, wigs and extensions, to the nails, everything. They have complete advantage of that. And as I also stated, whereas the men, we got to use what we were born with. We got to use what we have naturally, straight up genetically. And as I said, there is no makeup for men. There is no plastic surgery for men. There's no pill for a man to enhance his looks or his image. We ain't got none of that. We got to use what we were dealt with. We got to make do with what we have. Get the picture? Let's continue.
Yes. And guess what? I like that gift because y'all know I'm wigged down, makeup on my face. So, but I'm also 1000% understanding, like, this is different from how I looked before I got dressed to sit my ass in this chair. I think some of you women don't realize that. Y'all don't realize that y'all coming up here in your Halloween costume every day, walking in this world to be accepted by certain people. Men don't have that luxury to walk around in a Halloween costume every day. They got to be judged for what they were born with. And some of you hoes be in those comments going real hard and then be in your feelings when you get judged the same. I don't like that shit.
Facts. They could dish it out, but they can't take it. Oh, this fat acceptance group saying, "Oh, please accept me for my weight." They look at it, but then they look at a man who is also in that same weight class. "Oh, you just fat. You're just overweight." And when those men lash out and talk about how much they weigh, "Oh, you're fat shaming me, hypocrite." Or how about the body positivity group? "Oh, please accept my body for what it is." Then they look at a person who's not even looking at an ugly person and just call straight up ugly. You're disfigured. You're like Frankenstein. And when those same men clap right back at them, "Oh, you're body shaming me." Hypocrisy at its finest. They think, let's see, these same females who's all about fat acceptance, body positivity, when it only benefits them. The men are not qualified, and when they get treated no different than the men that they want to talk shit about, these be the same one whining, crying, bitching, and moaning about how they being shamed about their image, about their weight, about their looks. I mean, the shit's just so comical and hypocritic. Out the gate, let's continue.
So she made a lot of valid points right there. And one of the main points that you made was that men have to really present themselves just how they are. They don't have the luxury of doing what, women are able to do as far as to dress themselves up and to present themselves a certain way. But here's the bigger issue that has been such a larger problem in our society. There was a time where a guy like Godfrey would be able to get a good quality woman because women weren't so masculine in their behavior. And what I mean by that is women weren't so obsessed with so many of the vain things when it came to choosing a man, where women base their selection of a man on more important things. They base their selection on a man on if he was hardworking. What was his principles? What was his morals? What was his integrity like? And if you watch the entire video, you can see that Godfrey was definitely a guy who we would consider someone who was a man of high principles, a man who had a high morals. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke. He's a man who is very much disciplined. And those are characteristics that in the past, when a woman would see those, she would be able to recognize those and understand those are great long-term commitment qualities.
Absolutely. Charles ain't lying about that. Off the rip. So by the end of the day, looks ain't everything. And the main ones making a big deal about it be the main ones being their feelings when it happens to them. Now, if y'all want to watch the full length video of Charles in Charge, the link will be in the comment section. Go check him out. Tell him JD Miles sent you. But I said what I had to say. I'm done on the matter, and I'm out this bitch. Later.